The areas that are covered in this video are displayed in the slide as shown, and we do hope you enjoy this video. You may in your test be asked to identify where you would go to get into the control panel, which is the settings of your Microsoft Windows 10 operating system. So if you go down to Start, you should see a cog just down here, which is Settings. If you were to click there, the Settings panel for Windows should appear. So you've got loads of areas just here that may show up in your test as well. So just keep an eye. It may highly unlikely only ask you where you want to go to open it up. So you've got that. Just remember about the cog just down there too. You can also use the search if you're using it normal purposes to change it. So you've got like your system, display settings, any devices that are attached to your computer, network. You've got your personalization in terms of your background, your colors on the screen, for example, and also your update security, which we're going to look at later too. So if I just come out of this and just go back to our slides and just go through briefly. So this is, you can have a look at this at your own time, going through the slides that I'm going through now that are available to you on Aula. But you've got a couple of key areas like System, which manages your apps, control notifications. You've got Devices, we stated. They're all just up here for you, so you can actually have a look at a bit more detail just in preparation for your test, particularly if you look at update and security, where you would go to update. So if ever an update for your operating system comes or any applications, it will look at the update and also security purposes too. So keep in mind of some of those points just there as well. Which brings me on as well, you've got your system information and display settings. So you can change your display settings by pretty much going into your personalization. You can also do it by right clicking. You've got display settings just there, and then we can go to display, and then you should be able to change your resolution. So the resolution is pretty much the how detailed your screen is. So the lower the resolution, the less detailed and more pixelated it's going to be. So just keep in mind, if you are in your test, please select the highest resolution. You'll notice the 1280 is 1080 is what we're using at the current moment, going by that point. So especially in your test as well. Sound. The sound option is just at the bottom right hand corner. So you'll see if we were to click here, I've got my headphones on at the moment. So if you were to click there, you can increase the sound or decrease the sound as well. Pretty straightforward. You've also got additional settings if you go to control panel, which is quite handy. You can also go to language settings as well. To go to that slide just here. So language settings, you can add new language to Microsoft Word as well, which is really handy. So I haven't got it just here, but you will sometimes have an icon just at the bottom, just next to the timer, which says ink. You can change your language. If I was going to the control panel, we can get to it a bit more easier at this point here. So now we're in date and time. We can go to language, and at the moment we've got it on default at just there, but we can also add a language as well. So if you're asking your test where you would go to click to add a language, you've got the add a language option just underneath there too. So the next part of the video I want to discuss is backing up. So I'm sure everyone that's on this video listening will be aware that if you ever create any work, it's important that you back up. Regular backup is essential in IT because there is the event that certain things may fail. So for instance, you might find that a hard drive might be corrupted, or even an electric surge to a PC may cause an issue with files. So you may have done all that hard work. You may also have an assignment that's in tomorrow, and then when you reopen it just before submission, it's not working. So the key answer here is regular backup is essential. So I'm just going to quickly show you an example. So I'm going to put in my portable USB device. You should see a little click, and you should see just down there. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to use an example. I'm going to example zip files. I'm just going to right click copy. I'm just going to paste them into there. What you'll notice though, if I was to click example zip files in your ribbon, you should see an option there called history, and what it'll do, it'll bring up the history of that file. So just as an example, no history file has been found. It means that there's nothing been done, and also I've turned it off as well. So if you had it on, it would show you all lists of any changes of any location that file has been gone from and to as well. So just keep in mind, if you do ask in a test, regular backup is essential, and to see the history, it's in your ribbon just there too. What we've also got on your computer, and same with phones, a lot of devices, is that you install applications, or so say programs, onto a computer system. But what if we wanted to uninstall a program, particularly in Microsoft Windows? And you may be asked this in the test where you would go to do that. So if we go back into our control panel in settings, just here, you should see the option Apps just there. If we left click here, what it will show, it shows a list of all the applications that we've installed onto our computer in Windows 10. So to select one, for example, let's say calculator, we'd have the uninstall option there. It's been grayed out because I haven't properly installed it. It's a few settings for my computer. But let's go to another one. Let's say for instance Google Chrome. So you'd locate the uninstall button, and then that would start the process of taking it permanently off your computer, remove it so it's not available, and the next time you want to use it you need to go back and install it from the original source or where you got the file from. So that may come up in your test, so just be aware of that as well. Just come back to my slides that we're going through, and once again you've got these available all to you. So just keep it, it's a routine IT problem, so just ensure you do some computer maintenance on your machine, so you can check the disk to see if there's any errors or attempts to fix them. There's defragmentation and optimize the drive. So defragmentation, it pushes all your files and folders together to increase the performance. So if you had a bookcase, for example, that had books at the top, books at the middle and books at the bottom, if you wanted quicker to pick a book from all those, you'd put all the books all together in one shelf, and you'd be able to find it quicker. Same thing happens with a hard drive or any storage device. And you've also got a disk cleanup, which gets rid of unnecessary files that you can use to close up storage space. To get to these areas, these computer maintenance, what you do is you go into your File Explorer, and if you see the hard drive just there, if you right click and press your properties, you should have your tools for error checking, and you also got your optimize and defragment the drive too. So you've got some points just there to keep in mind where to get them if you needed to run these options too. But particularly in your test, it'll probably ask you where you'd go that, which I've just shown you, and also the meaning of them as well. So keep in mind of what I'm meaning from these points just there too, guys. Okay. So I'm going to show you the next slides because I haven't got a printer connected to my computer. So I'm just going to show you an example of what it's meaning. So printing and adding a printer. So it's the same location before. If you go to your settings, you can add a device by going just to here. And then once that's opened, you should see loads of specific devices. We're going to go to printers and scanners. And we've got all the printers that are currently connected, although at the moment, because I'm off campus, I'm doing that. So we're going to click Add. And that is the bit, it's particularly a test that will be interested in, is where you would go to add a new printer just there. I'm just going to click off that. So don't need that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of these to show you an example of when you go into a printer to see what's going on. So if I was to double click Open Queue, just here, you'll see what we've got is we've got the document name, so anything that's been printing. You've also got the printer and the documents as well. So you'll see as well, if I was to click that, if any of the printing that we sent to the printer was currently in a queue, and if we wanted to cancel it, we'd make sure it's been selected, and then we can go cancel just there. Or if we had it paused or resume, we can do it that way. Just keep in mind, everyone, if it isn't asking you in the test, you'd do it that way. So as we'll go back to the slides, there you go. You've got your menu bar just there as well. Another big thing to keep in mind, though, really important in your test, you may be asked to select the default printer. And you'll see my examples haven't got it because I'm not connected to anything, but you should see a green tick that's on the icon. That green tick defines the default printer on your system, which one you've selected as your default printer.